right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Bang Bang Anonymous. I was just actually this morning doing a bit of testing with my new setup. Got a little light set up back there, a microphone attached, so the audio should be a touch better. First and foremost, I had to figure out if the thing was actually, if it was working or not. So I had to do a couple of split tests. It's operational. I figured while I had the setup, I'd go ahead and knock out another video. Yesterday is what I'm going to talk about. Still in the same mindset of, or I guess really in the same sort of continuum of just things happening throughout our lives that, you know, maybe they seem insignificant at the moment, maybe they don't. But those pivot points, right? Those things where we meet this person, or we experience or forego, or maybe we partake in an experience or a circumstance, and it turns out getting us somewhere that right, and this is critical, that we would not have expected, and B, this is far more important, B, even if it was something where we were presented the outcome in the moment of the pivot point, right? If someone said, hey, do this thing, and down the line, this is what this path is going to lead you to, right? You can't see it now, but this is where this takes you, right? Almost that prophetic type of ideology. Even if we were presented with that information, we wouldn't have chosen to go down that path and do that thing, right? That's the crazy one for me, right? It's okay, if you'd have told me a year and a half ago that I was going to have this experience, and it was going to lead to me getting into endurance sports and, you know, completing a sprint triathlon and training for an Ironman and doing a marathon in April, even if I'd have been presented with that information, that those were the potential outcomes of whatever choice it was or whatever encounter occurred, I probably would have been like, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no thanks. It's not my thing. I don't like to run. I don't, biking? No. Swimming? No. That's no. So yesterday was a pretty packed day for me. I'm back in North Carolina. I've been back for almost 2 months now. It'll be 2 months next week. Made the move from San Diego after being there for 4 years. I moved out to San Diego from North Carolina for work, spent that time experiencing the COVID lockdowns and such. So I moved there just in 2020 and was there for, you know, up until just a few months ago. So I must have moved there in 2019, I guess, yeah. Anyway, I'm back now. I met some guys through recovery, and they are avid mountain bikers. Some of them are avid mountain bikers. Some of them are just getting into it like I am. One of the guys is a marathon runner. That's my kind of training buddy. And I also met someone actually online that invited me to a pickup soccer group yesterday morning. So my morning yesterday looked like get up around, I don't know, 5, 6 maybe. I tried to sleep longer, but I just couldn't. I got up, meditated for a good amount of time, you know, somewhere between a half an hour and an hour, which is longer than I typically do. Typically in the morning for me, it's about 20 minutes. It's exactly 20 minutes. That's my minimum. Every morning I wake up and I practice silent Vedic meditation. And then I went about my day. So my day consisted of, from that point, going to the park where we were playing soccer. I did about a 2-mile warm-up jog just to kind of loosen up my legs because I've been running quite a bit. I think going into yesterday, I was already at 20 miles for the week, maybe 22. So I did a 2-mile warm-up jog. I went and met the guy that was setting up soccer. We chatted for a bit. Soccer starts. Have a great time. Probably 20 or so people show up. I think maybe a bit more even. Just played, just played some scrimmage and played for about an hour and a half from about 9:30 to almost 11. And then I had to split and go straight to Reedy Creek, which is here in Raleigh. Reedy Creek is up by 40, kind of past the airport, and it goes right behind Lake Crabtree. So there's this like maze of mountain bike trails and parks back there. That was just an absolute blast. Now, I was on my brother-in-law's size medium hardtail bike. I'm 6'3" and I weigh about 210, maybe 215 right now. For anyone that knows anything about mountain biking, I should have been on a much, much larger bike, and to have been going through a park with some of these guys like I was, should have been on a full suspension bike. So needless to say, I'm researching those now. Any ideas that you have or any experience that you have, to those of you watching, if you have recommendations, I guess is what I'm looking for. Recommendations for kind of mid level, right, intermediate full suspension mountain bikes, mostly for trail riding, right, not necessarily enduro, but trail riding, some jumping, something to have some fun on, but a lot of trail riding, good for roots and rocks and cornering, something somewhat nimble. Like I said, I'm a larger guy, so obviously it'll be an XL, 29-inch wheels. I'm fairly certain that's going to be the play, and I've been looking at the Trek Fuel EX 7, and there's a generation, I think it's generation 6 that's out right now, just to give you some idea of what I'm already looking at. So right now I'm pretty, I haven't completely made up my mind, but I almost have on the, again, that's the Trek Fuel EX Gen 6, Fuel EX 7, that number. So anyway, so we mountain bike for about 2 hours. That's a phenomenal workout, had a blast. And then directly afterward, I kind of loaded up on some gels and some electrolytes, and I went for Baby Yoda, and I went for about a almost 8 mile run. I think it was like 7.76 was the total mileage, and that was a challenge. That one felt, when I finished that one, felt like finishing a race. I mean, I'd been going at it pretty actively, pretty intensely since 9 o'clock in the morning, damn near. No, 8 o'clock in the morning, starting with that warm up. So yeah, yesterday was an intense day. I got home afterwards. I picked up some sushi on the way home and some hibachi, and just wanted to take in some carbs and some protein. Loaded up on electrolytes, loaded up on BCAAs, glutamine, and then today is a full-on recovery day, right? Like today I'm gonna probably go to the gym at some point, do like some active recovery, maybe just ride the bike for a half an hour, just to kind of get some blood flowing into those sore and fatigued muscles. And then tomorrow, I'll probably get a lift in today too at the gym, just do like some lighter weight training. I should also add that the 2 days leading up to yesterday, so Thursday and Friday, I went back to heavy composite lifting, right? So I was lifting chest specific on Thursday, where I was almost maxing out on bench, right? So lower reps, higher weight. Same thing, but for back on Friday. So I hit, trap bar deadlifts, standard deadlifts, lat pull downs, rows, etc. So really, really heavy and lower rep days to really boost that growth hormone and really kind of get the muscles back into injury and then repair mode, or not injury, right? But just destruction and then building them back up. So damaging the muscles and then repairing them is what I'm meaning to say. And then from there went back and and then from there I went back to set up what the following week is going to look like. So next week on Wednesday, I'm going to get my VMAX tested, my VO2 max, along with my different heart rate zones and what the lactate threshold is, and at Lifetime Athletic, which is just up the street from me, the gym that I go to, phenomenal facility, hands down the best gym in Raleigh in my opinion. It's an incredible spot off Falls and Noose. And the woman that's doing with me, Jen, she's done 5 marathons, I believe she said. And I got a really, really good vibe from her right off the rip. She could tell I was pretty focused and pretty serious about kind of where I'm at right now with respect to fitness and my fitness goals and my athletic goals, etc. So really looking forward to getting into that with her, because we're going to do all of that. And then also she'll kind of like take a look at my marathon training plan. I'll go over with her what I'm doing as such, like to date, and then maybe pick her brain, definitely pick her brain as well on some of her thoughts regarding the training plan. Fueling is going to be a big thing. I've been in this place, as I've touched on before, like the ketogenic, very fasting, regimented sort of diet planning with respect to how I'm fueling for things, and then balancing that out for days where I'm doing long runs, or days like yesterday where I'm exercising for the better part of 6-7 hours, right, where I'm getting in some carbs and properly fueling, not just after, right, not just post the workout, but during the workout as well. So that's a place for me that I need to really focus a lot of my energy, simply because I don't have under my belt a tremendous amount of training days where I've been working out for more than an hour or two. Like I've done some hour-long runs and some hour-long workouts, and I've done some 2 and 3 hour-long bike rides. Many of those I've done fasted completely, and I've kind of refueled while sticking to a relatively low carb kind of macro meal plan. And that's something that I continue to aim for. But I know that on days where I'm working out 2.5 hour runs, hour and a half to 2.5 hour runs, I need to start practicing fueling during those workouts, because I need to be able to have trained my body to accept fuel during the marathon that I'm going to do in April. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'll keep this one brief, brief being under 11 or 12 minutes. Just checking in with you guys real quick on the weekend. No specific aim yet for this sort of channel, but excited to be here, excited to be getting out there. And look, like I said from day one, if there are ideas or questions or comments, drop them below. I'd love to hear from you. Would love to engage. Until next time, guys. Peace out.